a spoon with a fork on it. Yes, but it's Doctor Who related. So, yes, so welcome back to part 4 of 4. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Today is obviously going to be Doctor Who. It's another t-shirt that my lovely girlfriend Karen got me. I think because there was a couple of 13th Doctor that I wanted to get and they didn't have them, and then Forbidden Planet actually had this one, which I kind of like. So thank you, Karen. So this is going to be our look into my Doctor Who DVD collection. And now, this is the only kind of, with the likes of the other ones that I've showed you, I've kind of put them in order of, you know, how they came out. It's the same with this, but on the back of each of them have the release of the original broadcast date. So that's how these are actually stored. So it'll go from, you know, because there's a lot of Jon Pertwee, so it'll go from his first story until his last story, which we'll get on to probably at the end, because it's the best thing to show you at the end, so it is. So I'm going to crack on. Some of these here obviously you may know of, some you may not know of, and if I know a bit about them or if I've watched them, I will then talk to you about them. So we'll start off with the first Doctor, but we'll start off with Adventure in Space and Time with David Bradley. It's got 2 different covers, so the inside of it's obviously, yeah, it does. But I prefer this cover here. I just thought it looked very retro. It looked like it's almost ripped, you know, around it. A really, really good story to do with how Doctor Who came about, how William Hartnell was cast in the role, what he thought of it, how he fluffed his lines. If you have not seen this and you're a Doctor Who fan, I think it's on BBC iPlayer, so you need to watch that. It's really good. We have The Edge of Destruction with William Hartnell. We then have the Daleks, which is obviously the first time we see the Daleks. This was from 21st December 1963 to 1st of February 1964. So we then have one of my favourite Patrick Troughton stories, which is The Tomb of the Cybermen. There was like a couple of ones that were lost that they brought out. Enemy of the World, Planet of Spiders. Enemy of the World and something else, Web of Fear, that's what it was. I have them both digitally because I thought the quality may be a bit better. Some of these here as well, they may find that they've only got a couple of episodes and they've got the audio of some of them, so they animate them. The animation's really well done, but on the older ones they put it in black and white. We then have Spearhead from Space, which is Jon Pertwee's first appearance as the Doctor. This is the only one of these old classic ones that was available solely on Blu-ray. Obviously they brought out box sets now, which you have to be really on the ball to get, and it's not something that I've really wanted to delve into, to be honest. Yeah, so Jon Pertwee was the Doctor from 1970 to 1974, but yeah, so whenever he's exiled to Earth and they've wiped how to fix the TARDIS from his memory, so he's not able to go anywhere. We have Doctor Who and the Silurians. A lot of these ones here will be based with Unit, which had Nicholas Courtney as Brigadier Alistair Lethbridge-Stewart, and I just love the Unit stories. They were all terrific. The Ambassadors of Death, very ominous cover there. I'm going to stop saying Doctor Who now because you know it's Doctor Who. Inferno, where the Doctor is messing around with the TARDIS and he gets put into almost a parallel universe, where the Brigadier kind of has like an eye patch and he basically has to stop this thing from exploding. It's a pretty interesting story. Terror of the Autons, obviously if you're a fan of the newer ones, the Autons were in Rose, which was Christopher Eccleston's first appearance as the Doctor. Good one. Mind of Evil, which had the Master. I can never remember his name. Oh, I'll come back to me. The Claws of Axos, which is another really good story. I just love Pertwee, as you can guess, is my favourite Doctor. Colony of Space. Just reading some of the backs of these. I need to put these back here because if I don't have these in order whenever I'm putting them away, it'll annoy me. It's not demons, but the diamonds, we'll say, instead of that. sorry, I kind of need to stop reading that. Day of the Daleks, which is one that I'd never seen before. It's quite a good one as well. I think this is the first time that you see Jon Pertwee's character go against the Daleks. The Curse of Peladon, which is a really good story as well. You get revisited this one here later on, which this is one of my favourite ones actually. Some of these come in like box sets, but I like to take them out of the box sets. The Sea Devils. This is another one where there's these kind of monsters that come out of the sea, and you see, no pun intended, the master has been incarcerated in like a top prison, and then there's a great fight between the Doctor and him, and it's like a sword fight, but it's really good. The Mutants, don't really remember much about this. It has Unity in it, so I must have watched it. The Time Monster. This is a very strange one from what I remember. We'll get on to one of the weird ones later on whenever I have it. Oh, that's coming. The Three Doctors, which has William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, and Pertwee, obviously. William Hartnell was getting very ill, so you just see him appear on like a TV. But the thing is whenever they're watching the TV and they film the TV, there's a reflection, so you just see all the camera crew and all the staff, you know, behind that. But this is one of my favorite lines, and this is whenever they are transported somewhere, and there's this like little electronic thing that keeps zapping things and transporting it somewhere, and Joe Grant, played by Katie Manning, goes behind the thing, goes like, "It's locked," and he goes, "Well, it says no admittance," and it's just a typical Doctor, really. Carnival of Monsters, which is probably my least favourite one. It's just so bizarre, it really is. Frontier in Space. Robert Delgado, I want to say his name is. I haven't seen it on the back here, but it's just come to me. It's early in the morning, so that's my excuse. Planet of the Daleks, which obviously came with the other Daleks one. The good thing about these ones here is obviously they're in colour. The Green Death, which has like some really large maggots, and this is the last time we see Joe Grant with the Doctor. And then we have the Time Warrior, which is again one of my favourites, and this is the first time Elizabeth Sladen, who plays Sarah Jane, comes into it, and she's just great in this. And I would say Joe Grant's my favourite companion, but Sarah Jane would probably be a close second. But yeah, this is a great one set in like a medieval time. It's just really good. Invasion of the Dinosaurs, which is so weird to see dinosaurs on Earth, like way back when in 1974. But again, units in it, so it's a good one there. We have Death to the Daleks, which again, I don't really remember that much about. It must be a short one because it's 23rd of February to 16th of March, so it's not got that many parts in it. And we have the Monster of Peladon, which is a follow-up to the Curse of Peladon as well, but then we obviously have Sarah Jane in that. So we then move on to Tom Baker. So we have Robot, which is his first appearance. Again, this is one of only 2, I believe, appearances that have unit in it. And yeah, you know, Tom Baker is quintessential whenever you think of Doctor Who. He's who you think of because he did it from 1974 to 1981. We have the Key to Time, which has all these ones here. This is an American import that I got years upon years ago, but it was at a decent price, so I thought I got it. One of my favourite stories of Tom Baker's is Genesis of the Daleks. It says here, Doctor Who #1 story ever, so he has the opportunity to wipe out all the Daleks, but he decides not to because then he would be no better than the Daleks. We have Terror of the Zygons, which is the only the one that is set in Scotland, which has unit in it as well. But it's, like I say, because I'm a huge fan of the unit stories, that's why that one there is part of it. We have the Robots of Death. Whenever he offers the robots a jelly baby, and he goes like, "What's this?" and he knocks it out of his hand. He's like, "No would have sufficed." But yeah, so we have Louise Jameson as Leela. I nearly said Tila there. In this one as well. We have probably my favourite Tom Baker story, which is City of Death. Now this is Gillian Glover, who was in Indiana Jones and Last Crusade. He played the bad guy, and obviously in Star Wars as well, and Game of Thrones. But this is just a terrific. And also the guy who plays the scientist in this is David Graham, who voiced Parker in Thunderbirds. So that's a little bit of useless trivia for you. We have the Horns of Nimon, which, to be honest, I haven't watched, so I know nothing about it. So we then move on to Peter Davison. We have Castravala, which I believe is his first appearance as Doctor, or maybe it's not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So we have that one there. We have Earthshock, which I've seen before, but it's still sealed, which has Adric final appearance in it. Obviously to do with Cybermen, as you can see from the cover. We have probably one of the stories that got me into Doctor Who whenever I was watching older ones was the 5 Doctors. So you have obviously somebody portraying William Hartnell because he sadly passed away, but you have all the other ones. Tom Baker had a major falling out with the BBC, so he is kind of trapped. It's really trapped in a vortex, so he is not in it at all, really. So it's more the other ones, but just seeing they're all paired with somebody, you know, like so. The second Doctor is paired up with Brigadier. The third Doctor is paired up with Sarah Jane, and the fifth one obviously has his ones, and the first Doctor has his companion as well. There's not only one Colin Baker, which is the 2 Doctors, which has him and Patrick Troughton. Again, this is to do with his son Terrence. Quite a good story. We have Remembrance of the Daleks, which has obviously Ace going to town on a Dalek with a baseball bat. This is Sylvester McCoy's. And the last one from Sylvester McCoy is Battlefield, which again has the Brigadier in it. I think apart from he appeared with the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, he appeared in Marwen Undead. Sixth, he only appeared in like a really weird crossover that had to do with Doctor Who and EastEnders. Yes, you heard me right. And then appeared with him. And yeah, so obviously he didn't get to... He appeared in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but he was meant to appear in one of the Doctor Who episodes, but sadly he was ill, so he couldn't do that. Sorry while I'm moving these other ones over. So obviously we have the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, which is just a phenomenal story. We then have the Time of the Doctor, which basically has all of Matt Smith's Christmas specials. So you have Christmas Carol, The Doctor, The Widow, The Wardrobe, The Snowman, and then The Time of the Doctor, which is his last one. I also do have this, which is an audio book, which I decided to get because it's my favourite Doctor, so it's just got really nice art inside it as well. And then the discs. Obviously, if you buy any audiobooks from Big Finish, they do it as like a disc. You know, like some of them will be limited edition. This was limit of 5,000. This was 2,590. Very precise. But then you also get the download version as well with their app. So the last thing I want to show you is this, which is the Doctor Who Regeneration box set, which my parents got me several years ago for Christmas. So I'm just going to open this up just to show you the inside of it. Obviously it's done like a book. So we have here some art of the Doctors. So this goes through, so obviously this is William Hartnell's one. So this is the 10th Planet. So these are obviously all their regeneration stories. So these are all their last stories. That's why I don't have Planet of the Spiders singly, because it's in this, so there's not much point we having it. We have the second Doctor, which it has War Games. War Games was such a big one that this is actually on 2. Is it on 2 discs? Yeah, it was like, you know, from 19th April to 21st of June. We then have, and they all have lovely quotes. So is like, so this one here says, courage isn't just a matter of not being frightened, you know, it's being afraid and doing what you have to anyway. I can read upside down. So it's Planet of Spiders. We then have the 4th Doctor, which has Logopolis. So his quote is, there's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes, which is a quote that I really, really like. We have then Peter Davison's one, A man is the sum of his memories, you know, a Time Lord even more so. So this is the Caves of Adrazani, which in a book that a magazine that I got was voted the best Doctor Who story. Obviously they did a poll and then you voted for your favourite ones. We then have the Sixth Doctor. Unless we are prepared to sacrifice our lives for the good of all, then evil and anarchy will spread like the plague. And this is the Sixth Doctor. Should then. It doesn't actually say. Oh, because he didn't really have a regeneration story, that's why. His regeneration story is more done now with Big Finish. So whenever, because it was basically cancelled, and then whenever Sylvester McCoy came into it, his first episode was him kind of regenerating, but it was Sylvester McCoy in Colin Baker's outfit wearing a wig. So then we have this, which is Be the Time the Rani. You also have then probably, the Doctor Who movie, which is obviously the first appearance of Paul McGann's Doctor. We see him briefly in the short leading up to the anniversary special. We then obviously have Christopher Eccleston's one, which is Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways. I'm a Time Lord. I'm the last of the Time Lords. They're all gone. I'm the only survivor. I'm left travelling on my own because there's no one else. And then we have, obviously, Best Doctor. I'm so old now, I used to have so much mercy. You get one warning, that was it. And obviously this is the end of time, parts 1 and 2, which just love that story. And then we have Matt Smith's one, which is 11th Doctor. Obviously they put him in, but there's no story. Obviously by the time they brought this out, he hadn't left yet. So his quote is, "There's something you better understand about me because it's important, and one day your life may depend on it. I am definitely a madman with a box." And then back here you just have like who wrote each episode to do with their regeneration, and then on the back there it just has on the discs all the ones that are on. So yeah, War Games episodes 6 to 10, and then on disc 1 you have episodes 1 to 5, so you have 10 episodes in that, which is just crazy. But yeah, so again, this was a limited edition of 10,000, and mine was 501. So yeah, so that concludes our little adventure in the TARDIS down Doctor Who memory lane. So I hope you've enjoyed this here. Leave me a comment down below. Who is your favourite Doctor? You know, who got you into watching Doctor Who? Without David Tennant, I wouldn't be showing you all these things here. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and until next time.